Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I just have a dog annoying me. Hello and welcome back after a week off. Hope you've all had a couple of good weeks. I had a lovely couple of days in Melbourne with Joe, but brought a lovely Melbourne bug back with me. Hi Gwen, hi Michelle. So I've had a few quieter days this week, getting over that. It wasn't COVID, or the test said it wasn't COVID. Hi Cheryl, hi Sharon, hi Sue. But excuse me if I cough a little bit through this. Hi Sue, hi Chris, hi Fiona. So today was going to be a day of gardening, but the weather actually wasn't that nice. Hi Rhonda. And Molly dropped me a new book last night and said, why don't you have a day in bed and get rid of your cold and read a book, which I only give myself that luxury once a year at Christmas break. As much as I like reading books, when I start a book, if it's good, life stops till I finish it. Hi Jane, hi Rhonda. So anyway, I thought, well, that's probably a good plan. I headed off to work this morning and I stayed. Yes, it was Tessa's book. Thank you, Tess. Molly gave me Tessa's book to read. But Tess agreed it was good. More gin is needed? Possibly. Yes, but unfortunately this is just water. Guy says I'll be dehydrated because I laid in bed all day and I didn't do any exercise and I didn't drink anything. So yes, I did get up to 3:30 and then got a bit of sewing done, but and it wasn't a rainy day, but it wasn't a lovely sunny day either, so I didn't feel like I was missing out, and my tomatoes can wait for another day. Joe, I hope you managed to rest to get some stitching done too, or did you have to build walls? Unsure what you ended up doing. Hi Liz, hi Sue, hi Lorraine. So yes, I did have a nice day in bed. Doesn't happen very often, and maybe I'll get 2 books in this year. All at once. I agree, Veronica. Like I just can't keep up with it if I've got to watch a bit at a time. That's why I like. It looks like I like streaming services too, because you can binge watch a whole show rather than having to wait for one episode a week. So it's a bit the same, I guess, as reading a whole book in one day. But it was a good book. I got the book in. So has anyone read this book? It's mirrored there, but it is called Verity by Colleen Hoover. Hi, Susan. Wool put off, doing a crochet instead. Good to hear you had a good day too then. Hey, Marilyn, I'm at camp. So where are you at camp, Marilyn? I saw you were going on camp and you had all your Simply Charm quilts to make, a year's worth of them. So I hope you're enjoying camp somewhere, not anywhere near fires or anything. So yeah, we all need a day off to read a book one day, don't we? So maybe I'll make a record this year and get 2 in. Who knows? If I find another good book, I've got a whole pile. Surely one of them's good. Hi, Jackie. Karajong. Yes, started my quilts. Well done. It's all gone now, buddy. All gone. On your bed. All gone. Look, all gone. Yep, no more. Sorry, treats are gone. Treats are done. I want to go to camp. Yeah, I'd love to go to camp sometime too. But I did. Last weekend I had a day for me. I went to a little felting workshop and look what I made. See, I made this little fella, this little Santa, I suppose, Santa gnome. And yeah, it was a day for me. It was really nice to go to a workshop where I just sat and did it instead of having to run it. And I'd not really felted before. I felted doll's hair years ago when I made dolls. I actually had felting needles and hair and stuff. But this one's felted from the bottom up. The only thing that's not felted wool is the little bit of wood that he's sitting on there. So, hi, Margaret. I think there's no one else new there. Hi. Yeah, I thought he was pretty cute. Everyone's looked really good at it, but they were all different. They all had their little personalities. So, yeah, it was a lovely little workshop for the day. Despite not feeling very well, I did message them and said, look, I had a cold if you don't want me to come, but they were all happy for me to go when I had a negative rat. So I wasn't feeling great, but it was nice to have a day out and do something for me. So, yes. So that's my little gnome. And what did we, well, someone suggested a good name. Frederick, I think. Frederick, do you think? I don't know. We need a little name, but I don't know what'll happen to him. He'll end up somewhere. But that was my little splurge last week. But I have been doing lots of other stitching as well. So the hat, Rhonda, you love the hat? Yep. I put little dots on the hat. Some people's hats were a lot more sort of twisted and curled, and they they looked really good. I couldn't get too much of a twist on mine, so I added a little ball on the end and put these little dots on. I just kept adding more, and I kept seeing whether one gap was too big to the other, and you kept wanting to add more, but I eventually had to stop. So I like his little nose. I can't really go any closer because it won't focus. But there we are. There's my little gnome, my little Santa gnome. So what else have I been stitching this week? Have I got show and tell? I have got show and tell, but I'll do that when I demo later on. So why don't we start with a few things Jo has sent home? We'll start with our Christmas projects of the week. So what has she sent home? First of all, she has sent the mantle bunting. So it's not a new project. It was one of our Christmas Club's projects, but it's just a sweet little bunting. It's got little bells on the end that you get in the kits, and a little bit of rickrack. Let's switch to our overhead camera. Here we are. I'll put them up the right way for you. So it's a little bit of rickrack from these little round red work stitcheries. So we know we all love to do quick little simple red work stitcheries. We've got the holly wreath and Santa and the pudding and the snowflake and the angel. So that is called the mantle bunting, which is a nice little project to whip up as a gift or for decorating, because it is less than 60 days till Christmas. So have you started your shopping? I haven't. No, I haven't even thought about it. Or our plans. I guess we'll just be here. But but I have started the stitching. I just haven't thought about anything else. So that's the mantle bunting. And then this is a little mini. I should have brought a little tree down up here to show you. This is a little mini Christmas tree skirt. So I've got a couple of little tiny mini Christmas trees that will just sit on a sideboard or a mantelpiece or just a little tiny table. And so this is a little mini tree skirt. Oh, what a shame I didn't think to bring a tree. Let's make Santa our tree. It could just be a table center, I suppose, but let me just zoom on. I will switch back on over to here. Can we see that? No, you can't see it. That doesn't work. We'll switch back to that. Hi, Sue. Bentley is just going to be needy today. Just zoom out a bit more, even though you see all my mess then. So here's our little tree. Remember, Shanty's a tree in the middle of the little mini tree skirt. Okay, so that's the mini tree skirt from the Christmas Club. And again, it's just got a bit of red work. So Santa, the house, the tree, and a little bird. Little birds. So a quick little Christmas project. And then the third one she sent home, it's called the Advent Birdie. What do you want? What's your problem? You can't have it. I don't know what you want, but you can't have it. This is the little Advent Birdie pattern. Zoom in a bit. And it comes with the pattern to make these cute little hanging decorations, little tree decorations. So it's got the little red work on it, or you can just do it in nice Christmas fabrics. They come together really quickly. You can just chain piece a whole heap at once. So the little birds, and then it has this little heart decoration as well, and it comes with this little wooden button, which is just comes in ply, and I've just painted it red. So again, it's just some red work, little Christmas decoration, little heart, and the little birdhouse button on there. So I'll just show you that on here. So there's the little heart. And we had a bit out of focus tonight. My eyes just haven't been working today, obviously, because I laid in bed and read a book. So everything seems out of focus. But are we a little bit blurry? We might be a little bit blurry. Maybe I need to focus a bit better. Let me see. Are we focused there? Not really, are we? Okay. I need a companion to focus for me. And the dog won't cut it. That's a bit better. Is that a bit better? We're a bit better now? I think so. Sorry about that. Hi, Jenny. Missed us. Okay. Hi, Gidget. Very, very blurry. Better now? Kristen, Fiona. Back to work, Fiona. Okay, back to work. Is that better now? Are we a bit clearer now, though? Sorry, I told you my eyes weren't working today, but maybe it was the camera and not my eyes, but my eyes seriously aren't working today. Okay. Oh, Bentley, what? There's nothing there. Give it a break. No, can't have it. On your bed. Sorry, the dog was being needy. Okay, I've got another new project to show you. This was our last Stitches garden project, not the one that's just gone out, the one before. I don't think I've shown it to you. It's called the Condiddle Carry Bag. Have I shown you? I don't know. Anyway, you're going to see it again. And so this was a, as I said, a Stitches garden project, but now it's available for everyone. And it has got this lovely, this is all stitched, this design here. It's all embroidered. And then it's just got some square piecing there and some more on the back with a little bit of hand quilting. And then it's got an adjustable shoulder strap. They'll clip on and off. And then it's got a pocket here with a little magnet. And then the zip here, so you've got inside as well. So it's a little shoulder bag. You could use it for lots of things. Let's switch over and I'll just show you on the overhead. Okay. So I do not know what is wrong with the dog. I don't know what he wants. What do you want? Oh, I don't know. So we have got a little bit of hand detailing on there. But what I want to show you is pocket embroidery. So it's just one colour, and that actually is all embroidered to make the fabric that makes the flap of the bag. All right, you have a little look at that while I get rid of the dog. This has been very naughty. Bentley, come. Naughty. Over there in your bed. Okay, that gave you a good chance to look at it. There's something over in the corner that he spotted of his. It's a toy or something, but I can't see what it is that he wants that he can't get. So he's being very annoying. All right, so that is the Condiddle Carry Bag. So everything comes in the kit, all the hardware, the thread, the zip, everything you need to make the Condiddle Carry Bag. And I will just put these. Oh, it looks like I didn't add that to my links, so I'll have to add that later. I'll add in the Christmas ones. Hi, Lynn, that we showed before. But looks like I didn't put the link for that one in. I didn't set that one up. Sorry about that, but that's okay. All right, next I've got to show you a couple of new haby things. This is just a little gift set. Rose gold, some new little gift sets. Speaking of Christmas, if you're making a lovely project or bag or something for gifts, if you're making something handmade for gifts, but you want to add in some usable things, then there's a little pair of rose gold stalk scissors and a thimble, which would be lovely things to include if you're making like a needle book or a scissor case or any sort of little sewing pouch as gifts, which I know we all do. Then this would be a good little extra to put in it. So I just put the link for that in. They're $19.95, and it's yeah, very sweet. So it's a nice little addition. I'm in a little box, but if you've made a little handmade gift to give your sewing friends, then you could take them out of the box and put them in. Hi Shelley, good evening. Next we have a new lamp. Now the fold-up lamps that so many of us have that we've sold hundreds and hundreds of, you can't get them anymore. They've discontinued them, and we're still trying to find a decent replacement. So this is a daylight lamp, which is a really good brand, and this one's not rechargeable one. The fold-up ones are rechargeable. Hi Wendy. You can watch the replay later, that's fine. So the rechargeable ones you can plug into your phone charger and USB charger and things like that. This one actually takes just 3 AAA batteries, but sometimes that can be handy if you've got nowhere to recharge and you can just have spare batteries on hand. So it's fairly tiny. It folds up really quite small and compact, and it's got a little magnifying thing here. So if I was wanting to do some really fine work, now I've got nothing in here that's really fine to show you, but if I was, then wow, that's really magnifying and it's really light, so you could just work right over your work and you'd be able to see everything once you've got your glasses to work. Oh, and that shows up my horrible nails, doesn't it? And my stitching finger there shows it all up. Probably doesn't show it to you, but because I'm looking through the magnifying glass, all I can see is magnified imperfections. So that's a little yo-yo magnifying daylight light. As I said, it takes AAA batteries, and see if I will turn it off, see how small it folds up to. So it's just like it sits in the palm of my hand. So that'd be a really good travel light. It's got a little loop there. You can put a string on, a handle on. In fact, a handle comes with it, so you can just hold it by the handle that's in the box. And they are $34.95, so about the same as the triple bend ones that we used to have that were the rechargeable ones. But maybe they're just as good because you can always have spare batteries on hand if you don't have power, like when we did our retreat this year and we lost power and everyone ran out of phone battery and phone chargers and light chargers. We had no candles, so if you'd had spare batteries on hand, Chris, you just got it. Hi Karen, hi, welcome. Hi Steph, a bit late, yes. So you like it, Chris? Tried it, you like it? I think that's a good little one. So at the moment, that's what we've got as our replacement for the ones that are no longer being produced. I'm not sure why they stopped them, because we sold hundreds of them over the years. So I will add that into the links. Now, the next little gadget I've got to show you is a pom-pom maker. They're only $3, so I thought it was worth having a go. And I thought, well, now I've made millions of pom-poms over the years, and you just find some cardboard and you cut it up into little squares. And I've done it a million times, and then I lose my little squares. Pom-poms or also tassels. Same thing. So anyway, I thought this is pretty cool. So I haven't tried it, but I thought, well, why not try it on camera and see if it works? We can learn how to use it together. So reading the instructions, although I don't know that you really do need to read the instructions, it's pretty basic. The hardest thing was me finding some wool, because I really don't have a lot of wool. So we'll just make a little one. I'll put it on this side. So it has 2 sizes, the big end and the little end. So we're just going to try and make a little one. And then I'm just going to wrap this. And I'm not sure how many wraps. That would be trial and error until we see how many we would need. To get a nice thick pom-pom. Can you believe the dog wants to go out now? All right, so then, all right, 1 second while you absorb that. gosh, he's needy. See, I sat him bed all day and didn't take him for a walk, so that's why he's so needy. Okay, so now we take our two little bit that we put through and tie that in a tight knot. Oh, I don't think that's very tight. I think that could have been tighter. I'm going to put it around again. It's where you need that person with a finger to hold the knot while you double do it. That needs to be really tight. All right, let's try that. And now there's little grooves down the side of this little tool. So now we take our scissors and cut through those grooves on both sides. And we'll see if it worked. I've got a feeling we might need more wraps. We pull it off. More wraps, or we needed to be tighter on our center. Oh, well, that's a failure. Oh, well, we'll learn together. I think it needs to be tighter still. And it needs more wraps. Well, we tried it out together. So we need a little bit more wraps, I think, to get that into a nice little pom-pom. But I've got the idea. Okay, so we need, just a lot more wraps, maybe. And then we'll have a nice little pom-pom. There it is. It's got the start of one. But I think we could adjust that and also use it for tassels. So now I'm going to try a tassel a little bit different way. Here's the end of my thread. So on this one, I'm going to put my first thread in there, in the side. It's got a little notch, sort of a split. So I've pulled that in there. It's not on the instructions, but I just think this is going to work. So I make that at the top, and I need to get that out of the way. And wrap around. I use tassels a lot more often than I use a pom-pom, actually. And again, normally do it over a piece of cardboard. So now I'm going to pull these up. And this is trial and error too. I need to pull this as tight as I can. And again, it would help to have someone's finger to hold that while I do my second knot. Right, now I'm going to get another piece. Just slide it up a little bit. And wrap it around here. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut through this end. And pull it off. And there I've got a tassel. So that works. That works quite well. So you wouldn't have to use wool. You could use any thread when you're making a tassel. And I'd probably go back with a needle and thread and do a few more wraps and or you could even stitch your tassel head there, like cover it over. But that works quite well. So there you are. It's called a pom-pom maker, but I think it can also be used for tassels. There's my bit deflated pom-pom, and there's my tassel. My dog is not happy, no. Susan, have you used it before? So yes, you can also make a tassel. Have you used these before? I've never used one before. I've just always used 2 bits of cardboard. But, you know, for $3, a tool that I actually put in my tool chest, and instead of having to cut more cardboard every time I go, I think it's pretty cool, pretty handy tool. So anyway, I'll add the link in there. Hi, Karen. I'll just missed you. Sorry, you were here before. There. So there you go. I'll keep playing with those pom-poms until I get it right. But I think with a few more wraps, it'll be a cute little pom-pom. All right. What else have I got to show you? So I do have a bit more of what I've been doing. So some rubbish. This little project I've been doing this week. So Joe and I got all inspired last week to do a heap more things, and we did lovely Claire took us around on a little also for tying a bow too. Oh yes, yeah, I could imagine you could probably use it for tying a bow. I'd have to look that one up. I've seen little videos and that before, reels on tying bows over 2 stakes like that. Yes, I will try that for $3. I think it's very well worth it. Look at that, 3 things you can use it for. Anyway, so we had a lovely time last week, John and I, in Melbourne. We visited some gorgeous shops and got us all inspired again. And but in the meantime, yeah, we've got things coming up. So I came home to play with this, and this is just something I had in my head already. So it's just using a mini charm square pack. So 2.5-inch squares. These ones are all tildes because we've been cutting tilde charm packs ready for the Jubilee tour next year, or for anything. And I've got a series of new patterns. I'm thinking of doing just really simple patterns for mini charm squares. They might just be postcard patterns. So this one actually is just going to be like a big cushion, like a European cushion. And so I've just fused them all on our iron-on leave-in circles, so a pack of 2-inch circles. And then I've shown you before the gridded interfacing that we have, so you can use it for all sorts of things. Hi, Caroline, welcome. But particularly for like color wash quilts and things like that. You'll remember the Tilda quilt, the Tilda embroidered flowers quilt that we that she did last year, the beautiful one that we were selling kits for. That a lot of people use the gridded interfacing for that, and we've got it in 1-inch, 2-inch, and 2.5-inch. But I wanted these bigger, so I actually just use our H&K stitchery stabilizer, so just a normal stitchery stabilizer, because it's lovely and light and soft. And I cut my background squares to the exact size, and then I just laid them all up on the interfacing on the glue side and ironed them down. So I didn't mark the grid. I just made sure I cut my squares really accurately. Hi, Catherine, and hi, Jeanette. Bit late to the important date. You certainly are. And Cheryl, well, you're all popping in now. We all forgotten daylight savings time. It's all right. It'll be there on replay. And you've all got your name in the jar down there, so it's all right. You've still got your comment. Where is it? Down there somewhere. Okay, so anyway, getting back to this. So instead of having a gridded interfacing, I just use our stitchery stabilizer, which is just like a really soft light interfacing. Cut my squares really accurately, fuse them all down, and then fold it over and stitched. So I've done a little video. I'll do a reel or when I get time to edit it all. I'll do a little video tutorial on the technique, and then it'll just be a little postcard pattern. But so yeah, so it's really accurate and comes together really well. I can see I pressed that one not very well there. I need to go on the back and repress it. So I did all that on my non-gridded interfacing. Hello, Lynette. Hello. Hi, Il. Hi, Andrea. Hi. Watering the veggies and almost forgot. Everyone's late tonight. you must have nice weather there. Sure, it's still daylight, but it's just not that nice. And then I've basted them down with the rock sands, and then I've whipped around them by machine using my machine applique method, because I just wanted to get that done. Got lots of things on the go tonight. But now I'm going to do some slow stitching, because remember those nice pearl threads that I got at Craft Alive a couple of weeks ago from Wonderful? Well, I'm now going to do some slow stitching and quilt by hand around all these circles and add some more features to it. What do you think? Do you like that? I mean, it's simple, but it's really effective, isn't it? And I think once that's a big European cushion, that's going to look really pretty with the rest of the stitching on it. So, hi, Chris. Oh, on holiday. Half your luck. Hi, Karen. Hi, Jenny. Everyone's coming on late. That's okay. You can watch it. You can watch it on catch up. So, yeah, I haven't got a name for it yet, but this doesn't really need a name. It's circles on squares, isn't it? But, yeah, I am going to do some slow stitching and spiffy that all up. And I did another project that Jo's in the process of spiffing up for me too. She's using her crochet prowess, which is not my best feature, to spiffy up another project I finished during the week too. Okay, so I just thought I'd show you that one, and when I've got the video all done, which might be a while, I'm good at taking the video, but it takes so long to edit it and put it into an actual video. Spot on. Good name, Jo. Thank you very much. Yes, Jeanette, great for scraps. And this is all it was. I got so many Tilda scraps home here, and I never have yardage because I think of it when I'm not at the shop to get yardage. So I'm just trying to come up with all different little simple projects that look really good, but just uses scraps. So yeah, just needed 3.5 inch squares for the backgrounds and 2.5 inch squares for my spots. And you can never go wrong with a spot or a dot. Do you call it a spot or a dot? Do you think once it gets up to a certain size, it becomes a spot, and when it's smaller, it's a dot? I've always wondered whether it's a spot or a dot. What's the difference? All right, so that's from now on in going to be called Spot On. Thank you, Jo. And then the other project I've been doing this week, which you've seen, but I finished it off, was one of our easy app packs. So I've shown you those before. They're the pre-cut iron-on templates for different flowers and things. So this was one of the packs. I can't remember what number it is, but it's the 5-petal double flower. And I've pretty much used everything in the pack, no pattern, just laid it all out and made it, look pleasant. And I think it's come out really pretty. So then I had it just on stabilizer. I fused stabilizer to my background while I appliqued it on, because I just want a little bit of stabilization, so I didn't pucker too much, because I did it all by hand. This one I did all by hand. I could have done it by machine, but I did it all by hand. And then I've put it onto some wadding and I've quilted. So I've just free motion quilted. Can you see that? Just some little spirals and a few extra leaves on the stems. So I just had a bit of fun. Nothing perfect, but just it looks really effective when you just do that heavy background quilting, and it pops your applique as well. And it's just going to be a cushion. So I have today put the back on just with a little zipper here. Which is now stuck. It's all right, I didn't check that. I've sewn it. No, it's all right. I had sewn it into the zipper, into the casing. Oh, I know what it is. I used some basting glue to baste my zipper down while I was stitching it. Okay. And I'll stuff that with some stuffing. I'm not sure. Can you get like a cushion filler that shape? I know I've done it before where I've just rolled up a cushion form. I've just rolled it up and put it in to get like a tube one. But yeah. But yeah, isn't it pretty? It's really pretty. And I finished this one and I thought, oh, maybe I should go on and do a whole quilt and use all of the 9 packs so far, plus any new ones that I do, and make a whole quilt. But it took me a couple of weeks just to applique this one down. I've got so many other projects on the go, but it's in my head. Maybe I'll make a whole quilt, but this was just a sample to show you how you could use the easy applique packs. And maybe I'll continue on. We've got ideas, John. I've discussed a lot, so maybe I'll do a row by row or something. these are all old Tilda fabrics, so it's not something I could keep, but they might all be scraps that you have in your stash. So, and which is all mine was. Again, I was just using scraps, not all from one range. They're all from lots of ranges. And I just picked out colorways, but they also needed to contrast. So you needed to have the contrast between them so you could see the petals. So, if I make a whole quilt, I might do it in fabrics that we can kit, or just more scrappy that we can get more of. But why I've got it tonight is I added a binding on this cushion, and so I thought I might just give you some binding tips. I may have done this before. I can't quite remember if we've done binding before. I've got a feeling maybe I have shown you binding, but anyway, you might all be different people here tonight. So I thought I will just finish it off on camera and show you the binding. So on this particular one, I've just done a single binding. So on a normal quilt, we do a double binding where our binding strips are cut 4 times the width plus half an inch. So if it's a 1/2 inch binding, we cut 4 times that, 2 inches plus half an inch, so 2.5 inches. And we fold them in half. So we've got 2 layers, and then we stitch it onto the quilt and bring it to the back. A single binding, it's just a single layer. So I've actually cut this 1.5 inches. And the times you can do it are if you haven't got enough fabric to do double binding. A double binding is stronger when it's on the edge of a quilt, because that's the edge of the quilt is what gets the most wear and tear, which is why we do a double binding. But this is just going to be a cushion, so it's not going to get a lot of wear and tear. So a single binding's fine. And if you don't want a lot of bulk also, like around a project bag or something like that, or even around curves and things, a single binding is a lot less bulk. So it is there are times when you can use a single binding, and this was one of them. So because I thought I would show you, because I used a stripe, I also joined them just on the straight grain. So I've cut it on the straight grain because I haven't got any curves, and I also wanted to get my stripe going around the binding, and I've joined it on the straight grain. Now I can't even find a join, or there's one there. So I've joined it on the straight grain and just press that open. And I've done my final. So normally on a binding, I would join them on a bias so that you've got no bulk of a seam, and we get a little bulge on your binding. Because it was a stripe, I've just done it on the straight grain, and because it was a single binding, not as many layers. Also on my start and finish, I just folded over. Can you see that there? I folded over a little bit of seam allowance when I started, and when I finished, I just ran past that so that I don't have a bulky seam there as well. I do end up having 1, 2, 3, 4 layers where that is. So that's the only part that I'm going to have to try and make sure I'm quite neat so I don't get a little bulge at my start and end point. Now, once I sewed it to the front, it would just look like that. Do you want me to zoom in a little bit? Let me zoom in and try and stay on screen. Okay, so I sewed it to the front and it was just flat like that. So I just sewed it with a 1/4 inch seam allowance onto the front. Okay, I mitered my corners. So when I got to the corner, let's get that on camera, I did run off, fold it up, fold it back this way, and then started sewing in the new direction. So I've mitered my corners. Then once I'd gone all the way around, I just pressed it open, and then I turned it to the back. And you don't have to do this. I could have done this by hand when I was pinning it, but because I was at the ironing board, I just pressed it in to meet the edge of the quilt top, or the cushion in this case. And it just gives me a start. Then I just use pins, but you can use clips, like Wonder Clips, something, and you're just going to go around and pin that all down, and it should be covering the stitch line from the front. I'm fairly zoomed in, so I've got to keep making sure I'm on the camera for you. And when you get to the corner, you need to be going all the way so that that goes straight to the corner there like that. Okay, so I'm just going to put one in here. And then when we bring this one over, we need to fold right at that point, and it should meet here. So we've got a perfect 45-degree line there. Okay, can we see that? So I folded it to the point and it should meet up here. So we've got that perfect 45-degree line there in our binding. And we've still got a nice 90-degree corner on our quilt. Okay, it doesn't curve and it doesn't pull around the corner. Now I'm going to turn around, try and stay on camera. And I have a big magnetic tin of pins. And even when I'm doing a whole quilt, I like to pin as much as I can at once. Because once I've got it all pinned, I just have to sit and stitch. I don't have to keep pinning as I go along. But you can just do it a section at a time. If you've just got a few pins or a few clips, then you just do your section and then you work on to the next one. So again, we see here, I'm going to make sure that's going all the way out to the corner. Put my pin in. Fold from that point and bring it up so that I'm meeting at that point. I've got that perfect 45-degree join there and a nice 90-degree angle there. Okay, let me turn around, stay on camera. Now you sometimes get lots of threads and raw, particularly with the single binding, lots of threads. So as you're pinning it down, you're just tucking in any threads. Also, because it might be the edge of your quilt, you might have threads from the edge of your blocks as you were sewing them together. If you're like me and you don't trim them all, you end up very messy on the edges. So just tuck those all in neatly as you go. And your zipper, make sure you get that all nice and neat as you go. And so on. So I won't do the whole quilt because you don't need to watch me do the whole thing. But you get the idea. And on the front, I've got this nice, oops, where are we here? Got this nice, neat, striped with a perfect mitre in the corner. Okay. So stitching it down, I'm going to, I'll just start here in the corner. So I just use a stitchery needle. I tend to use a stitchery needle, not an applique needle, just because it's a bit bigger. But I do just use a strong blending applique thread. So this is a poly 6U8, this one. And you generally choose a thread that matches the colour of your binding, not the colour of the backing of your quilt. Okay, but if your stitch is good, it's like a blind applique stitch, then you barely see it anyway. But choose a thread that matches the binding, not the backing. And then, where are we? Here's our camera here. So I'm going to come up underneath, or I can come out here, just catch the edge and pop my knot through the back. So I just popped it in until it's in there. And then it's just like an applique stitch. So straight down, just through the backing and slide along and catch the fold of the binding. Straight down, slide along. And you can see you can actually quilt, you can actually sew these bindings down quite quickly. I just pull the next pin out. The only issue with pins is that your thread can get caught on the one before. As you're pulling it up, that loop can get caught, but I find it actually gets caught even more with clips. And clips become a lot heavier and sort of hang down your quilt everywhere if you've clipped your whole quilt. But clips, a lot of people love clips. I use them for so many reasons, so many purposes, but just not with this. Now, let me just, in case there's any comments there, I'm not seeing them because I've got my camera up there. Let me see. I've missed a heap of comments here, so let me see. Hi, Catherine. I've only just learned pressing the binding before attaching to the back helps a lot. Yes, it does, Joe. Has anyone watched? And I'll get a link to it in the newsletter. I think I might be already done a link to the newsletter. Beth Ann Namesh has a free binding tutorial. Now Beth Ann is a long arm quilter, an amazing award-winning quilter and teacher in America. She's been out here and taught a couple of times. She does amazing things. And if you find her on Instagram or find her website, you can sign up for a free binding cheat sheet tutorial, and like her quilts are perfect. So the execution and the skill in her bindings, and she also has a lot of different fancy bindings, are perfect. So for exhibition competition type binding skills, go and check that out. And one thing she does, I'm pretty sure, is presses them open before she stitches them down. I can never get my, what a great, thank you. Never get my corners like that. So sometimes it's tricky, and it's down to how you sewed the mitre on the front when you were sewing it. So you really have to sew when you're sewing on the front. Let me see if I can show you here. So where are we on camera? So you have to sew up to that 1/4 inch from the corner mark. Okay, so you're sewing up from the 1/4 inch from the corner mark, and then I sew off at a 45 degree. I'll show you one day properly, step by step, so it makes more sense. And then you fold your strip up and back perfectly. So it should go up and back so it's curved like that. And then I start at the edge and sew down at that 1/4 inch. So it should have met exactly there at a 1/4 inch in. And if it's at the right spot, it should be even both sides. All quite often, because if I wanted a bigger border, a bigger binding, and I want it to be full, I would leave batting on this, because you want your binding to be full if you've got a wider binding. So I would be leaving batting, but I'm still sewing to a 1/4 inch side the top of my quilt top. But for the corners, I would trim that back, get rid of a bit of the bulk when you're bringing it over. Okay. All right, Steph, yes, I can do a mitered corner lesson another time. It's just hard because I don't have a machine set up here. That's all. I guess I could do it, but needs new cameras. Anyway, and the next question was, do I ever use Roxanne's glue instead of pins? Sharon, I know a lot of people do, and I have on smaller projects, but I haven't had a whole quilt. But I actually know, I'm not going to say who, but I actually know of people who've entered quilts that have just been Roxanne down because they've run out of time to stitch them down, and you could never tell because it was such a perfect binding, and it's been Roxanne down. So yes, a lot of people do. Remember last week I showed you the double-sided fusible tape too? That would be another way of doing it, using double-sided steamer seam tape to hold it all down. Okay, so back to my stitching. Where are we on camera? There's not much more to show you. So straight down where you came up, but just through the background, slide along, catch the edge, give it a little tug. And in this case, because it's a cushion, I'm just going through the backing fabric. If it was a quilt, you could go through the backing fabric and the wadding, but you don't want to go through to the front, obviously. Otherwise, you see all your little stitches. Now, you can stitch it by machine. The problem with stitching this down by machine is you can see in this case, my back is a little bit wider. I've pulled it past my stitching line because I wanted a nice small tight binding on the front. So if I stitched the back band by machine, I would get my stitch line in here. If I really wanted to do it by machine, like if it wasn't going to be a competition quilt or something and I wanted to do it by machine, which I have done many times, I would actually stitch the binding to the back and then bring it to the front, pin it and glue it, and then edge stitch it on the front. Because then if your stitching line doesn't match up perfectly, then it's just going to be sitting inside on this fussy back at the back, and you're hardly going to see it. Okay, but me being a perfectionist, I tend to more often than not do it by hand so that I know I've got it exactly where I want it. Okay, so let's go back to here. I'll check if we've got any more comments I missed. Never thought of sewing off a 45-degree angle on the corner. We'll try next quilt. Yes, Susan, I'm not sure where I saw that, or I'm sure I saw it once, or maybe it just came to me. I'm not sure, but I'm sure I saw it once. And if you do stitch off at that perfect 45-degree angle, when you fold your binding up and back down again, it sort of folds to that angle. So it's actually quite good. So I do it all the time now. So it looks like in our future, we're going to have a sewing the binding on tutorial with showing you those mitered corners. Hi, Karen. You are late. We are nearly finished, but that's all right. You can watch it on catch up. And I'll just hold this up again so you can see it. So there's my little cushion. So it's going to be a little, I don't know what you call that shape cushion. But it is very pretty, isn't it? Very soft and pretty. Again, no pattern. It's just an easy out pack of the pre-cut papers, and you can use them however you like. I just decided to use the whole pack and make a little garden. And now if I could find another 3 days a week, I would do a whole quilt using all the packs. But that might take a little while because I've got a few whole quilts in my brain to do at the moment. I think that's all I've got to show you tonight. I think that's enough. We've gone 50 minutes. So it's probably enough. And those of you that's just joined in, hi Sonia. Those that have just joined in, if you're new here, and the easy app packs. Actually, I didn't put the links in. I will add the link afterwards. On the website, it's under haberdashery easy app, I think. But I'll find the link just afterwards and put it in for you. I had them up last week, I think, because whenever I showed you last week or the week before, I put the link in. Have I got any more links that I haven't put in? Very remiss of me to not think of that today. No, I think I've put all the links in that I had ready. So those that are new here, Sonia, I think it's for your first time here. There might be a couple of other new ones. Every time you left a comment, you got an entry into the little jar down here. So I do need to remember to draw the winner of our little giveaway this week. I don't know what it'll be. Joe will send you something out of the goodie box. And if you want anything extra, let me just get rid of this. Okay, let's get a winner. And the winner is Edel Mather. Okay, now you're overseas, a long way overseas, aren't you? So just send us a message and we might, if you're still here, are you still here? You need to be here to claim your prize. You need to hang in there with me. So are you still here? And I'm sorry, Edel, I never know if it's Edel or Edel, but if you're still here, just say hello so we know you're here. Otherwise, we'll do a redraw. Oh, yes, you're still here. Okay, send us a message, and what we might do is we might send you something downloadable, so we don't have to post to you because you're in the UK or somewhere up there. I know. So anyway, send us a message offline, an email or something, and we'll sort something out for a little gift for you. Okay. Hope you've learned a thing or two tonight or been inspired, and the dog's finally given up pestering me, and I think I used up all the rest of the all the rest of the treats. Sonia, you've been incognito, so you have been here, but you've been hiding. Okay. Ireland. I knew it was up there somewhere. Okay. So Edel is in Ireland. Okay. But she's a long-term customer. All right, so that's it from me tonight. Have a great week, and I will be around next week. I think is next week in November. I think next week is November already. November. That's scary, isn't it? And I'll come up with something to show you next week, or maybe it will be some show and tell of what I've finished this week. Have a great stitchy week. Stay warm. Snow on the mountain here again. Who would have thought? But I'm sure summer will arrive eventually and we'll be complaining the other way. I think that's all I've got to tell you. No other messages? No, I think that's it. We shall see you all next week. And until then, goodbye.